I'm Shelley Fuller with Boulder County Hazardous Materials Management Facility. I'm the Hazardous Materials Program Manager. So we're talking about recycling here at the Hazardous Materials Management Facility, or HMMF. I think this started because of following Boulder County's zero waste goal of being zero waste or darn near by 2025. And it seemed like we were throwing away a lot of things because they were hazardous. And so trying to do our role to recycle as much as possible is how this all started. So we started with paint buckets. 50% of what we get here at the facility is paint. So we started noticing that we were throwing away a lot of paint buckets with only like this much paint in a 5-gallon bucket. So we started to consolidate all that paint and then let the paint buckets dry out and then scrape out all that paint and then recycle the bucket. So we had to work with the Boulder County Recycling Center and their staff at EcoCycle to see if we could make this work, but they were willing to work with us, and now we can recycle a lot more than we ever used to. So another thing that we noticed was antifreeze containers. Ideally, I'd love to recycle oil and antifreeze containers all the time, but antifreeze seemed like a little bit more realistic as far as a pilot project. So antifreeze containers, because antifreeze pours off so easily, we can see the antifreeze coming out, and then we'll do a quick rinse of the containers, and then we can recycle those containers as a rigid plastic as well. But one of the things that I was really excited about this year was recycling aerosol cans. In the past, we've always just thrown all of our aerosols in a giant cubic yard box, and this year we purchased an AeroVent 3. This machine can be put on the top of a 55-gallon drum, and then we put 3 aerosol cans in there, and we can puncture a hole in it and drain out all of the spray paint. And so what we do with the paint is send it off for fuels blending, which can help run the incinerators for hazardous waste disposal. The metal goes for scrap metal recycling, and the caps are recycled as plastics. Something new that happened this year were that metal recyclers are requiring us to cut cylinders in half, and we only accept 1-pound propane cylinders here. We were always just giving them away to someone who would use them and then throw them in the scrap metal bin at the Charm facility. And then Charm said they can't take them anymore, so we have to vent them first, then remove the valve stem, then puncture them, and then we have to circle them with a bright marker to obviously show that it is empty and recyclable scrap metal. So it's just become this huge production to actually just recycle these waste streams. In 2012, our recycling rate was 11%, and in 2016 it jumped all the way up to 41%. And just in 2016 alone, we recycled 36,000 more pounds than the previous year.